There are aliens in the forest. They're not just in science fiction movies. And they're invading. We call them invasives. They're both plants and animals. But today, we'll look at the plants because they can't run away from us. Look at this. Beautiful day out here, Georgia.
Nice morning for a walk.
Great road to walk on. Lots of green stuff out here. There's dew on the ground.
But it looks like there's some things taking over.
Yeah, kind of. Once I start looking around here, there's a lot of non-native invasive plants.
Yeah, I can see about 4 or 5 just standing in this one spot.
That's not a good thing. The animals don't like that. The birds and the bees, it's different food sources. Their usual things that they eat and nest in aren't here. And man, this is a bad situation.
We should talk about this.
We should talk more about
non-native invasives.
What is a non-native invasive plant species? First, a non-native plant is one that didn't originally grow here. It came from another part of the country, or even another continent. Now, being non-native isn't always bad. Many plants from other places live here peacefully. But when a plant is called invasive, that means it causes problems. Invasive plants spread quickly and push out native plants. That's why forest scientists work hard to spot and manage invasive species.
Yeah, and if you look behind us here, just about everything you see that's green is a non-native invasive.
Yeah, we got bittersweet.
Very bad. Honeysuckle.
Right there. Buckthorn.
And there's some knapweed on the ground.
Stuff here.
And the list goes on. So what can we do about this?
I guess more than just complain, right?
Yeah,
Right?
we could stay inside and watch video games.
Yeah, we could, but maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, that wouldn't help the problem, would it?
No. You know, I bumped into somebody a couple months ago talking about this exact thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's hop in our time machine and go back and see what this person had to say. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we are on a beautiful spring May day at Mitchell State Park near Cadillac, Michigan. And it's a beautiful park. It's a nice place to visit, but it does have some problems here and there. We've got glossy buckthorn going on, and it's called a non-native invasive species. And it's just really thick, as you can see. Thankfully, we have some people out there that can help us identify and control these kinds of invasives, such as Emily Fredericks. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Emily, and I work with the North Country Cooperative Invasive Species Management Area, which you can also call SISMA. So I help manage and control a lot of our invasive species in the area.
Terrific, and it sounds like we have a really bad one right here, because when I look down, there's nothing else, just this buckthorn. Nothing's growing underneath it or around it or anything. So what's going on here?
So this is our glossy buckthorn treatment site. So we go through and we cut down all the big shrubs, and then we lay them right there to keep them out of the way. Gotcha. And then we went through and we put these buckthorn baggies on. So right after you cut the tree down, you need to put the buckthorn baggie on, and it just prevents the sunlight from getting through and preventing growth.
Gotcha. Is there any other way to keep that from sprouting back other than those baggies?
So the traditional method is to use herbicide, but a lot of people aren't comfortable using herbicide, or they cannot. Since glossy buckthorn grows on a wetland right along the water, you typically have to have a permit to have certain herbicides. So this is just a more accessible way for people to treat their invasives.
There are many other invasives that we could find as we walk down the road. I mean, after all, there's over 40,000 different species been introduced to North America. Keep in mind, most of them are good species or they don't have any negative effects, but there's a few bad actors out there that give us some concern.
So it sounds like it's not just small trees and shrubs we're worrying about though, right? Because I'm looking over here and there's some vines crawling up like big snakes. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so that is oriental bittersweet, also called invasive bittersweet. So it's a woody vine, and you can see that it likes to kind of twist amongst itself, and it grows really big, and it'll girdle trees. So it cuts off the flow of nutrients from the trees, leaving the dead tree standing, but it doesn't know the tree's dead. So it just keeps climbing up until it hits the crown of the tree. And when it can't go any higher, that's when it starts to spread outward.
So that's a lot, and it's a lot to try and tackle, but I bet we could all do something to help you with your work.
Yeah, some good ways that the community can get involved is to learn how to identify native species and non-native species. If you go to the Midwest Invasive Species Information Network, or MISIN, they have a ton of tests that you can take to learn how to ID a lot of your invasives, and then you can show us where these invasives are by putting points and sharing the location. And then always make sure to replace these invasive species with native species so that they don't come back in.
Thanks so much. All right, way to go.
Now, before we leave this episode, Georgia, I want to have some special words about wildlife in particular, because these plants are not really very good for wildlife. The berries look nice. This is a honeysuckle. The berries look nice. You can grab some. You can yeah, they're not very good.
No.
But the birds will eat them, and it's not good for the birds because
Like
there's
candy.
it's like candy. There's not much nutrition in there, and it can give them the runs, which is why you find a lot of these shrubs under what?
Power lines, anytime they roost anywhere,
they sit
right?
on the wires and they poop it out. And there's some other reasons why
Yeah.
not so good for the environment, right?
Like water quality, maybe water quality.
Yep. It can reduce the soil structure and lower diversity. Fewer plants means fewer animals.
Yeah.
And boy, I still got that taste in my mouth.
Hope you don't get the runs.
Oh. You know, Georgia, walking down this road or this trail here, there are just gobs of nasty, invasive, non-native species out here.
Yeah, but we have to remember, just like we said earlier, we've introduced lots of different non-native plants.
Well, that's true. Tens of thousands of them. Lots of them. That's a lot.
Yeah, but most of them are well behaved, right? Like lilacs and forsythias and tulips.
And they're pretty too.
Yeah, that's true. They stay where we plant them.
That's right.
So we just have to be careful.
When we move around plants, you don't want to move the wrong plant to the wrong place, or else you're adding to the problem instead of helping to solve the problem.
Yeah.
That's about it for this episode of Believe It or Not. Remember to wash your fingers and then touch the button, that subscribe button up there. And we'll maybe see you next time.